Imagine a ship sinking on purpose, not to drown, but to pick up another ship. Sounds impossible, right? But this is how some of the most advanced ships in the world actually work. Today, we are going to explore one of the most unbelievable engineering secrets of the ocean. Massive ships that don't just sail across the sea, but actually carry entire ships on their backs. First, let's understand what a heavy lift ship really is. These are not ordinary cargo vessels. They are specially designed ships built to transport extremely large and heavy structures such as oil rigs, submarines, and even other ships. Now you might be wondering, why would a ship need to carry another ship? There are several reasons. Sometimes a ship gets damaged and can no longer sail on its own. Other times, newly built ships need to be delivered safely across long distances. And in many cases, transporting a ship this way saves both time and fuel. Now let's get into the real magic behind this process. Heavy lift ships use something called submersible technology. This means they can partially sink themselves into the water. But how does that actually happen? Inside these ships are huge compartments known as ballast tanks. When these tanks are filled with water, the ship becomes heavier and slowly lowers itself deeper into the ocean. This process is extremely controlled and precise. Engineers monitor every step to make sure the ship stays balanced and stable at all times. As the heavy lift ship continues to submerge, its main deck goes underwater. At this point, it creates what looks like a floating dock in the middle of the ocean. Now imagine this. A massive yacht or even a military ship slowly moves toward this submerged platform. Small tugboats help guide it carefully into the exact position. Positioning is critical here. Even a small mistake can put the entire operation at risk. Once the ship is perfectly aligned, the next phase begins. The ballast tanks are slowly emptied, pumping the water back out. As the water leaves the tanks, the heavy lift ship begins to rise again. And as it rises, it lifts the entire ship sitting on top of it out of the water. It's an incredible sight. A full-size ship slowly emerging from the ocean, supported entirely by another vessel. But the process doesn't end there. In fact, this is where things become even more important. The transported ship must now be secured tightly. Massive steel supports and locking systems are used to hold it firmly in place. Crew members carefully inspect every angle. They make sure the ship is stable and cannot move, even in rough conditions. Because out at sea, conditions can change at any moment. Strong waves, powerful winds, and storms can create serious danger. Now let's talk about the strength of these incredible machines. Some heavy lift ships can carry over 100,000 tons of weight. To put that into perspective, that's like lifting multiple skyscrapers or several giant ships at once. These vessels are true masterpieces of engineering. Every part is designed to handle extreme pressure and challenging environments. Now let's look at real-world uses of these ships. One of the most common uses is transporting damaged ships to repair facilities. If a ship breaks down in the middle of the ocean, it can't just be left there. A heavy lift ship can safely carry it back to port. Submarines are also transported this way. They are not designed for long-distance surface travel, so this method keeps them safe. These ships are also used to move massive offshore oil rigs, structures that are far too large and heavy to be transported in any other way. Even luxury yachts are carried across oceans using heavy lift ships. This allows owners to move their vessels without adding wear and tear. Now let's talk about the challenges. The ocean is unpredictable. Waves, storms, and currents are always changing. Keeping such a massive load stable is not easy. Even a slight shift in weight can affect the balance of the entire ship. That's why modern heavy lift ships are equipped with advanced computer systems. These systems constantly monitor weight distribution and stability. The crew operating these ships are highly trained professionals. They are prepared to handle even the most difficult situations. Now imagine this scenario. A heavy lift ship traveling through a storm, carrying another ship on its deck. It looks like something out of a movie. But in reality, it's a high-risk operation that requires precision and experience. Looking toward the future, this technology is only getting better. New designs are making these ships more powerful, more efficient, and safer. As global trade continues to grow, the demand for transporting massive structures is increasing, and heavy lift ships are becoming more important than ever. They save time, reduce risk, and make it possible to move things that once seemed impossible. And perhaps the most fascinating part is, all of this happens in the middle of the ocean, where conditions are constantly changing. That is why heavy lift ships are often called the true giants of the sea. So now you know the incredible secret behind how heavy lift ships carry entire ships across the ocean. From submerging themselves underwater to lifting thousands of tons with precision, these vessels truly push the limits of engineering. The next time you see a ship at sea, just remember, there might be an even bigger one out there carrying it like cargo. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more amazing and mind-blowing content. And tell me in the comments, would you trust a ship to carry another ship across the ocean?